Okay, so let's start. And as Marina was telling you, the start would be from project privileges. And this is very important section as we receive the most questions that employees, they do not see the reports, they do not see the section. So in these privileges, there are several sections. First is for application, and then there are sections for each partner. So for the partner, you need to add users and give a role and for this user to be able to see the report and to create the report. So you press add, then select the edit for the user that will be creating and filling in and submitting reports. Then there is a sensitive data button. If you press on it, then then it becomes blue. It means that you give the privilege to see sensitive data. And this would be the descriptions of cost expenditures and also attachment files. If you don't give this privilege to see, for example, in this, then this user wouldn't be able to see the descriptions of expenditures and attached files. Here you see the controller that was added by JS. So you don't need to do anything in JEMS here, but we remind you that quite many Lithuanian partners, they still don't have assigned controller. So please check in which stage this your procurement or your approval with managing authority, National Authority of Lithuania. And when we receive confirmation that the controller can be assigned, JES will assign it here in JEMS for you. And also one important thing for lead partners, if they want to see the report of other partners, they need to add them as well to other partners. For example, for second partner, they need to add their user with role view and without sensitive data. Then they will be able to see partner reports, and it will help greatly when preparing project reports. So now we will go to partner report for first user. To create the partner report, you need to press add partner report, and this new line will appear. Until the report is submitted, it's possible to delete it. It is linked to the certain version of the application form. So if you created the report and then had changes, like in this example, the current version is 4th version, as you see, of the application form. And the report was created when there was a second version. So it is linked to the second version. And if, for example, with the changes, you introduce some new activity, it will not be visible in this report. So keep in mind that you might be needed to delete and to create a new report. So let's go inside to the report. There are several sections, as you see on the top. It's like reporting identification, work plan, public procurements, list of expenditures, contributions, report annexes, report export, financial overview, and submit. So if your computer screen is quite small, then you might need to navigate using those arrows buttons. And then the first part of identification, it's pre-filled already with the information from the application form. And here you can also track the status of your report. Initially, it is in draft. When you submit the report, it will move to submitted. Then when controller starts the control work, the status will change to control ongoing. And when the controller certifies the report, it will move to certified. So to start filling in, you need to fill in information about the reporting period. You choose it from the drop-down list and specify the date start of the reporting period and end. You need to do it manually. Then there is a summary of partners' work in this reporting period. Here you need to describe all implemented activities within this reporting period in a short summary. You don't need to go to the details. And as for example, you see here, there is information about the kickoff meeting that happened in a certain day, with number of representatives of the partners, and what was done in this kickoff meeting. Then there is a short description about trainings for guides that happened with number of participants and short information about the topic. Then information about some research document draft prepared, and also renovation of a building in municipality. So it's quite short standard information. And here, please also add information about management activities, because there were not separate activities planned in the work plan. And that's why you need to present information about management activities here. Also, if a partner had a unit rate for staff costs, and for those employees, there was no overreaching of limits, and it's enough to just present a short information in the report, not detailed tasks that were implemented for each hour. Then here in this section, you would also put a short description of works done by those employees. Next section is about partner problems and deviations. Here you need to describe the deviations that are deviations according to program manual section on changes. So for example, delays of some activities you need to describe here. Then second example is a change of technical specification. And for example, in this case, it was harmonized by GS. And there is information that there is a harmonization email, and it would be attached in general section of attachments to the report. Also, if some activity was implemented faster, you also put here in this section. For example, construction works were implemented faster and they were reported in this period, while initially it was planned to be reported in the next reporting period. And next section is partner spending profile. Here you need to specify only the number as a forecast, what would be spent and reported in the next reporting period. It's approximate forecast, and it's up to you how do you calculate, how you estimate it. About the spending, here is also a short section to explain if, for example, like in this case, we have a big, overspending in this reporting period. Just initially, it was for this target around 30,000 euros, and the partner reported a lot more. And that's why there is an explanation that construction works were initially to be planned in the next reporting period, but they were implemented faster, and that's why they are reported here. Then next section is target groups, and the section on the left, it's taken from your application form, and you need to describe how you involved those target groups in your activities during this reporting period. As example, for kickoff meetings, 3 local public authorities participated. So we add this description in this section. For representative of NGOs participating in trainings for guides, so we put it here. If, for example, general public was not involved in the activities of this reporting period, so you put this information. So JES would understand what was the involvement of all target groups. Then there is a next section, work plan progress. And this structure is taken from your application form. And let's see the example. So first part is description of contribution to the activities of this reporting period. So in short, you put with bullet points all the activities where you participated in this reporting period, where you were involved, and then in next sections there is information what you did. It's more specific. So in this summary, it's very basic with bullet points where in what activities you were involved. So, for example, in this first activity for the development of astrological route, you were not involved, and it was rescheduled to the second period. So you put this information in the description, and you don't need to mark or to attach anything, so it stays empty. Second example is a preparation of research on astrological sites. You put the description of your involvement in this activity, and there is a section for deliverable. You need to specify the contribution. If you were involved in this activity, in this deliverable, you specify with tick, and then you need to attach attachments supporting your involvement in this deliverable. So, for example, in this case, the draft research was prepared, and the attachment is this draft research. Then next example is training for guides. So it's like an example for most events. First, you describe in detail what was done, how many participants participating, what were the topics, where and when those trainings happened. And then you mark the contribution to this deliverable and attach all necessary supporting documents. And let's see this example of particular. Okay, so in this case, for trainings, for example, this is a 7Z file, and it could be also either 7Z or some zip or RAR file with all necessary attachments supporting the achievement of the deliverable. In this case, it would be an agenda for the event. For each day, it would be a list of participants for each day, supporting documents like handouts for the event. Then fourth example is for investment. Investment in infrastructure was done, and you describe what happened, what works were done, and specify the contribution. For example, in this case, there were also furniture planned and purchased for this activity. So there are two deliverables, one for renovation works and another for purchase of furniture. So you mark the contribution that you participated and you were involved in this deliverable, even if it's not done in full. For example, in this case, only part of furniture was purchased, but still you mark the contribution that you participated and you were involved in this deliverable, and you attach the supporting files. For example, for investment object, you attach the act and the commissioning act and provide pictures of the renovated object. For furniture, you also provide the pictures presenting the purchased equipment. And next section is for outputs. Here it's also the information is taken from the application form. And if there was a contribution to a certain output, for example, in this case, the object was renovated and improved to attract the tourists, and you mark the contribution to this output and also attach the supporting documents that describe achievement of this output. And next section is public procurements. Here you need to specify all procurements that are procurements according to the procurement law of your country. And here you will need to press add procurement. And let's see examples. For example, for this furniture, there was a procurement for furniture, and you specify the name and then the reference number from procurement. From the name of procurement, there's usually some reference number. And then contract date, type of contract. There could be equipment, services, and works. So according to this, specify which type it is. Then you specify the contract amount, the name of supplier, the VAT or tax identification number of the supplier. And in comments, you would need to put a link, for example, to electronic procurement system, if it was done through this procurement system. Then the controllers, for them, it would be easier to find this procurement in the electronic system. And then if the procurement was above EU thresholds, you would need to specify beneficial owners and contractor of the contractor. So you would need to press add beneficial owner and to specify the name, surname, and date of birth, and VAT or tax identification number of the company of this supplier contractor. Next is subcontractors. Again, the same logic that you would need to specify subcontractors. You press add subcontractor and specify the contractor name, a reference number of the contract with the subcontractor, a contract date, amount, and supplier's name. And as well, this tax identification number of the supplier. Next are attachment sections. There are two sections for attachments. First is general, where you would need to attach all necessary procurement documents. It could be, for example, contracts, procurement documents, and all other necessary. And second section for attachments is GDPR attachments, and the users who can view or edit your report, but they do not have GDPR this sensor switched on, so they won't be able to see those attachments. So if there are some types of attachments that some users do not have, shall not see, then you will put not in this first part, but in the second part. Okay, this was procurements. Then next is a list of expenditures. And here you will need to put all the expenditures that you had during this reporting period. And the flat rates are not put in this section. They will be calculated automatically, so you don't need to think about them. But for preparation costs, you would need to put them here. And as you see this first example, is for preparation cost lump sum. So you would need to press add the expenditure, then the line would appear. So you for lump sum, you'd need to specify this lump sum for preparation of your application form. For all others, it will be not applicable. So when you specify the preparation costs, it will be automatically, you need to add the description that this is preparation costs, and in comments you would specify what was done for the preparation of the application form, and the amount is taken directly from planned costs in the application form. So you don't need to specify anything else here. If needed, if there was some mistake, you can always delete the line. And for attachments, for preparation cost lump sum, you don't need to provide any attachments. That's why it's possible to delete the line. Then, second example is for training, for guides. So it's a cost category of external expertise and services. You don't need to specify investment because it was not related to the investment. But if it would be, for example, expenditure for infrastructure works or for equipment, you would specify the investment number from a drop-down list. If you created in the application form several investments, then there would be a drop-down list of several investments, and you would choose the relevant one. Next is procurement. So you would specify from the list of procurements that you created in this public procurements section, and the list that you created, it will be going on from the first reporting period to the all other. And for example, if you had a procurement for some service and you don't have those expenditures in this reporting period, but only in the next reporting period. So when you will create the report for the next reporting period, the public procurement list from the first reporting period will still be available and visible. So it will go through whole reporting. So when you had the procurement, you put information in the section of procurement, and it will stay for all reporting periods. And you will be able to select it from a drop-down list. That's why it's also important to specify very clearly what is the name of the procurement, so it will be easier for you to select the correct one in this drop-down list. Then internal reference number. So this is from your accounting system, the reference number. Then number for invoice, the date and payment of invoice. Then there are two fields for description and comments. So for description, you would specify the number of deliverable and what was for example, service or equipment. So purchase of furniture and the number of deliverable, renovation of building and number of deliverable. Then it will be easier to have the connection between the work plan and the reported expenditures. In comment section, you would need to put all other relevant information, for example, that works were completed and only part of furniture was purchased. So this is an example. Then total invoice value, you need to specify what is indicated in the invoice. Even if you would pay only part of the invoice, here you would put the whole amount that is specified, then VAT that is specified in the invoice. And for declared amount, you would put the amount that you declare. It could be the cases that only you would need to declare only some part of the invoice. So it would be this certain declared amount in this field. Then you need to attach supporting documents, and there is only place for one attachment, as in all other places. So again, it would be either zip file or RAR file with all the necessary attachments inside. For example, for training of guides, so you would attach all invoice, acceptance act for works for this service. But you don't need to repeat the procurement documents because they're in procurement section. You don't need to repeat some content files because they will be in the work plan, for example, agenda or description of training. It will be in the work plan progress, so you don't need to attach them here. So in this section, it will be only the financial documents mostly. And as you see, while there is an attachment, it's not possible to delete this expenditure line. So when you need, then first you delete the file. Let's say, for example, for this furniture, if we delete the file, we confirm, and then there's a section for deleting the line. It's active, and it's possible to delete the whole line of expenditure. Okay, next section is for contributions. Here, you would need to specify only the amount for current report. You don't need to attach any files here, even if it's possible, but you don't need to attach. So you just specify the amount of partner contribution. So this 20% of reported amount. And you don't need to calculate it in the manually. You will just go to the section for financial overview, and for current report partner contribution, you would take this amount and copy it to contributions. So very easy. Then next section, it's report annexes. It's a cumulative section. It takes all the attachments that you attach in other places, and it will specify where it is attached. For example, training documents, it's under expenditure. So in the list of expenditures, you attach this file. So it's not possible to delete it from here, but you would need to go to list of expenditures and delete the file from there. So it's information from the work plan, list of expenditures, public procurements, and contributions, but here there will be none. So it's possible when you go to this whole, it's also possible to attach in this section some files, and if they were not attached in any other section, then you would need to add description. For example, in this case, we had a just harmonization email for some deviations, and there was no particular place to attach it in any other place. So you attach it here and provide the description that this is harmonization letter from JS on, and specify the topic, so it will be clear what it is. Also, bank statement for a bank account, you would put it here and describe that it's a statement of the bank for a whole this period. And so it's possible to attach them here with upload files, and then those files, it will be possible to attach them, to delete them from this section. Next is export. Okay. It's possible to export your report, both content part and financial part. So there are currently we are still testing and updating this section, but it's possible to already now to have your budget. So it's partner report budget example. If you press it, and you will be possible to export it, and then also export of the report itself. It's a lead partner report export. So let's see, for example, we press to export the file, and the report is created. If you need, in some cases, to give it somebody, for example, to read, to check, it's possible to create this PDF file and then to use it how you need it to use it. Same is for budget. It will be an Excel table, and we are working on this exports, and in the near future it will be also called a lead partner report budget, and it will export Excel for all reported expenditures. And next is financial overview. It represents data on this initial eligible partner budget, previously reported information, current report. So it's a cumulative also collection of data, and then there's a remaining budget. So first table is for ERDF and partner contribution. Then there is a breakdown per cost category. Again, initially planned, previously reported, current report, total reported so far, and the remaining. And then it's also information about the lump sum, if it was planned in your report, in your application form. And expenditure breakdown for investments, if you had the investments section for your initially planned application form. And then last part is for submitting the report. And it's possible to run a pre-submission check. So for now, it's a very basic that you would need to fill in the identification section and to have at least one expenditure. But later it will be developed in more detail to have more qualitative and more filled in reports. And then you press submit partner report, and the report will be submitted to your financial controller. And as you see, the status changed to submitted. And then we also wanted to show you if partner had other report with unit rates for staff. So we created a fictionally report, and for list of expenditures, if partner initially had a unit rate for staff costs in their planned budget. So when reporting, it's possible to select here unit costs for staff. Then you don't need to select any category, procurement, it's done automatically. Reference or invoices, they also, you don't need to fill anything of here, but you would need to fill in the description and comments. So for description, you would put the position and the name and surname of the employee. And in comments, you would specify for which months you will report hours. Then you would need to specify the number of units. So it's a number of hours worked for this employee in this reporting period. So it's cumulative. You don't need to specify for each month, or you would need to specify just one line for one employee and the total number of hours worked in this reporting period. And then the system will automatically calculate the number of the amount of in euros, how much will be declared. Then you would need also to attach the attachment. You would specify the project manager, for example, name, surname, and then in attachments you would attach the files for job contract, for the description of activities of this position, and then timesheets for each month according to the program developed template, and also timesheets in the institution where this person is working. So this is it from example of staff cost unit rate. We hope that it's now more clear for you with more detailed example how we expect you to fill in the report. Of course, this is still very basic and short information, and from you we would expect more developed descriptions and more clear information. But this is like a bare minimum that would be possible to have. And that's it from my side. Thank you. And I give floor to my colleague, to Elizaveta. Thank you.